This is my Qronge X1 Spark, and it's an amazing bike, especially for the price, but it just has one problem: all these stickers. And now personally, I'm not the biggest fan of orange, so I know by getting rid of the stickers on this bike, it will not only clean it up, but also look more menacing. And I know this method works because I've already done it on the number plate and front fender. And I'm also going to be moving this and making a custom mount underneath the bike and rerouting it so that way if I do wheelies or I loop the bike out, because I'm not that good at wheelies to be honest, this doesn't break my turn signals and rear brake light. And I'll show you guys what I do with that as well. So let's begin. Alright, now the stickers on this are actually different than they were on the Valtenzu. On the Valtenzu, I was able to use a heat gun and actually just peel the sticker off after heating it up. But the stickers on the X1 Spark are actually a little different than that. And as you can see right here, that was my first attempt trying to figure out how exactly to take it off. And as you can see, it's not your typical sticker. So I'll show you guys exactly how to remove it. And again, I've already done this test with the front number plate and front fender to show you guys that it does work. So I'm going to show you guys what I found is the best method to get rid of these type of stickers on this bike. Here's everything you're going to need right here. First, we got our 91% isopropyl alcohol. This is going to be really good at getting rid of the first initial layer. As you see right there, how it goes from orange to white, the alcohol will get rid of that first initial layer. Next is just some Glue Gun or anything to remove adhesive, because under this initial layer there's also an adhesive, and the adhesive does not do good at getting removed by the alcohol. So that's what you're going to need the Glue Gun for after you wipe it off with the alcohol. I'll show you guys the steps I use to do that too, so don't worry. And then we got microfibers to apply that stuff and some gloves, because obviously you probably wouldn't want this on your fingers for a prolonged period of time. But with that out the way, let's get into it. Alright, and step number one is going to be to take your isopropyl alcohol, put that on a rag, and then we're going to use that to wipe off the first initial layer of the sticker. Let me show you guys how to do that now. Alright, got my microfiber here, soaked it with some alcohol, and we're just going to lightly wipe, and as you see, it's going to start taking that color away. You don't need a lot of pressure, and you want to make sure you stay on the sticker as best as you can. But it's going to take away that first initial color. You're going to wipe all that off. And then as you see, once the color's gone and you keep wiping, it'll eventually get rid of the white mark next. So just wipe all that away. Alright, and if you want to be lazy and call that a good enough, then you could call that good enough. But I don't know if you can see. If you look closely right here, you can see that is the adhesive. And in the light, you can definitely see it. And that's what the Glue Gun stage is for. So you could choose if you want to use the Glue Gun stage. It could be optional, or you could do it if you want. But I'm going to do it and show you guys what to do. Alright, step number two is going to be to apply the Glue Gun to a rag. You don't want to spray it directly on the bike, because if the Glue Gun gets all over the place, you might mess up the shiny plastics of the bike. So spray it directly onto the rag, and we're just going to wipe precisely where the Glue Gun is, just like we did with the alcohol. Let's get into it. Alright, now that we have our microfiber with Glue Gun, we're just going to apply it in the area that we used it. Make sure we get it on there. And then again, just lightly scrub. It's not going to take much. The Glue Gun is designed to get rid of the adhesive, so you're not going to have to wipe hard. And there you go. Alright, and just like that, the orange stripe is completely gone. Adhesive is removed. So now we're going to move on to the next step of the bike, which we're going to do the battery. Alright, same thing. First step is hit it with the alcohol. And this is kind of hard to do with the camera here. Hold on, let me do the best I can. I'm trying to do it on camera for y'all. Alright, this is a really awkward angle with the camera right in between me, so I'm going to go ahead and finish it off camera and then show you guys what it looks like. But it's the same steps as you can see. As you can see, the battery is all done, all blacked out, still has its nice shiny coat. And I got both sides done as well. So now I'm just going to go ahead and get the rest of the bike done. See what it looks like. I think it's going to turn out pretty good. Let's go ahead and get the rest of this banged out the way. Alright, and there's the X1 Spark without any decals. Now this is only one half, I still have to do the other half. But tell me that does not look so much better. And I do have my own little stickers as well. I have a little idea in mind to add a little bit of orange right there, just to still keep the accents. I think it will look clean, you guys will see. I still have to do this side, but after I do that and bang that out, I'm going to show you guys how I'm going to reroute this whole taillight assembly and paint this bolt right here black. Alright, now that both sides are done, we're going to go ahead and move on to the taillight assembly. So first we're going to take out this bolt right here. And if you look underneath, it actually is a bolt. I'm assuming it's a 10mm. So I'm going to get that off and then show you guys how to take this apart. Alright, now with that bolt taken out the way, there's going to be 3 smaller ones like this. There's going to be one right there, and then 2, one there, and one right there. And once you take all of those out, then this whole assembly will come down. Alright, now that we got this down, it's going to be a 14mm to disconnect the turn signals from each side. So we're going to do that first. Alright, just like that, we have both of those disconnected from the center assembly. Next, we're going to cut these zip ties so we can get it up and out the way from the rest of this. And then we're going to go ahead and remove the brake light from this assembly. Alright, now that those are cut and disconnected, next step is going to be to get a small screwdriver and take these screws out the side. Alright, I now got the tail light assembly taken out, and it was a little bit more of a pain to get it out from here than I imagined. The screws in here, they strip really easy, and underneath the nuts were backed in there, so I actually had to take a drill and drill it out. But after I drilled it out, these two pieces are separate, so then I took some super glue and glued the red part to the bottom base of the thing. You see it's coming up right now. I literally just did it. So I'm gonna let it sit there and dry, and then this will stay on there and it won't come off anymore. But while that's drying, I'm gonna go ahead and take the seat off, which is just this bolt right here. See what we're working with behind this box, and then drill some more holes so I can route these wires through those holes instead of right here. Alright, I went ahead and drilled a hole on the side. I did a small drill bit on the side, worked my way down, and towards the bottom did a big drill bit. So that way I can shove the nut in and then turn it to the side and tighten it and use the turn signal. So I'm going to tighten it up and show you guys what it looks like. Alright, turn signal is up in place, and as you can see it's tight. It ain't going anywhere. And I have it plugged in so the wire can just be tucked right in that box and the seat will go over it. So I'm going to do the other one over here, and by the time I'm done with that, the taillight should be dry, and I'll go ahead and put that on here. Alright, both turn signals are tight and in place now with the wires plugged in and routed under the seat, and the light is also done and dry, ready to be placed in here. So I'm going to drill a hole, same thing, route the wire through there, and then I think I'm actually going to put double-sided tape on the back of this to keep it there. So I'll show you guys what that looks like once it's all done. And there we go, that is the finished product. Both turn signals and brake light all finished, put underneath the tail instead of on the tail. And I did paint this bolt black too, so I'm going to put that back in, and it should look less noticeable than it was. But I'm super happy with how this turned out. Now I'm going to put everything back together and show you guys the final product of all the work we've done so far. And real quick, I just want to show you guys what it looks like under the seat. So as you can see, I got the wire zip tied and nice and tucked up out the way. So it's super clean, not going to go anywhere, no chance of it unplugging or getting disconnected. So I'm really happy with how it turned out, and hopefully you guys can follow the instructions well enough to get it done yourself with no problem. To show you guys what it looks like with the lights on, let's also do the turn signals. There's the left one, and there's the right one. Super happy with how everything came out. It literally is perfectly exactly what I was thinking. Right under the tail fender, so if you was to crash or loop the bike while doing wheelies, you're not going to damage anything. And as you can see, I painted the bolt black as well. Alright, and that's going to be it for this episode of the Qronge X1 Spark. In my opinion, the bike looks 10 times better without all the decals on it and with the brake light and turn light rerouted underneath the bike. And if you guys also like how it turned out, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe because it really does help me out. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers and I'm almost there. And yeah, hopefully this video was informative enough and able to help you guys figure out how to take the decals off yourself and give you guys a couple ideas on how you want to modify the bike. But I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Thanks so much for watching and have a good one.